First Contact and the Galactic Sports League. The day Earth joined the galactic community should have been a momentous occasion filled with wonder and celebration. Instead, it was marked by confusion, fear, and the distinct impression that humanity had stumbled into something far beyond its comprehension. Admiral Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the ISS Horizon, Earth's first faster-than-light capable vessel, as it dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of an alien solar system. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a sight that made every crew member's jaw drop. A massive space station that dwarfed anything humanity had ever constructed, orbiting a gas giant with swirling storms of deep crimson and vibrant gold. "My God," whispered Commander Jack Chen, his eyes wide with awe. "It's beautiful." Elena nodded, her throat tight with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. "And terrifying," she added softly. Before anyone could respond, the ship's communications array crackled to life. A melodious voice, speaking perfect English, filled the bridge. "Greetings, vessels of Earth. We are the Galactic Confederation, and we welcome you to Outpost Zenith 9. Please proceed to Docking Bay Alpha 7 for customs and immigration processing." Elena exchanged glances with her senior staff. They had expected First Contact to be a challenge, filled with attempts at communication and cultural exchange. Instead, they were being treated like tourists arriving at an intergalactic spaceport. As the horizon approached the massive docking bay, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something crucial. The ease with which they were being welcomed seemed too good to be true. Hours later, after a bewildering series of scans, translations, and bureaucratic procedures, Elena and a small delegation from Earth found themselves in a cavernous hall filled with beings of every conceivable shape and size. Some floated on clouds of gas, others skittered on multiple legs, and still others seemed to phase in and out of reality itself. A tall, willowy creature with iridescent skin and 4 arms approached them. "Welcome, humans of Earth," it said, its voice a musical trill. "I am Sarlith, Chief Ambassador of the Galactic Confederation. We have been eagerly anticipating your arrival." Elena stepped forward, her back straight and her voice steadied despite her inner turmoil. "Thank you for your welcome, Ambassador Sarlith. I am Admiral Elena Reyes of Earth. We come in peace and friendship, seeking to join the galactic community." Sarlith's large, multifaceted eyes blinked in what Elena hoped was a friendly manner. Of course. Earth has long been on our watch list. Your species' rapid technological advancement and unique biological traits have made you of great interest to the Confederation." Something in the ambassador's tone made Elena's skin prickle. "Unique biological traits?" she asked, trying to keep her voice neutral. Sarlith's mouthparts twitched in what might have been a smile. "Why, your capacity for violence, of course. It's quite remarkable. Most species lose their aggressive instincts as they advance technologically, but humans, you've managed to channel it so effectively." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. She glanced at her team, seeing her own unease reflected in their eyes. "I'm not sure I understand," she said carefully. "Humanity has worked hard to overcome our violent past. We come here in peace." The ambassador waved a dismissive hand. "Oh, of course. We've observed your efforts at diplomacy and cooperation. Very admirable. But you can't deny that conflict is woven into the very fabric of your society. Your sports, your entertainment, your economic systems, all driven by competition and the threat of violence." Before Elena could formulate a response, a booming voice echoed through the hall. "Ah, the humans have arrived. Excellent timing." A massive creature that looked like a cross between a bear and a squid lumbered towards them. Its voice, despite its fearsome appearance, was filled with jovial excitement. "Ambassador Sarlith," the creature rumbled. "Why haven't you told them about the League yet? They must be dying to know." Elena's diplomatic mask slipped for a moment. "The League?" she asked, unable to keep the confusion from her voice. The bear-squid creature turned its multiple eyes towards her, its tentacles wriggling with what seemed to be glee. Why, the Galactic Sports League, of course. The greatest entertainment spectacle in the known universe. At Arlith sighed, a sound like wind chimes in a storm. I was getting to that, Commissioner Grithok. I wanted to ease them into it. Elena felt a headache building behind her eyes. I'm sorry, but I think there's been a misunderstanding. We came here to establish diplomatic relations, to learn about advanced technologies, to join a community of peaceful, spacefaring races. What does any of this have to do with sports? Commissioner Grithok's tentacles writhed with excitement. My dear Admiral, you don't understand. The Galactic Sports League is diplomacy in our corner of the universe. It's how we settle disputes, how we forge alliances, how we determine the status and influence of each species. Elena's mind reeled. You're saying that galactic politics is determined by a sports league? Exarlith nodded, its iridescent skin shimmering. It's a system that has maintained peace for millennia. Instead of war, we have competition. Instead of bloodshed, we have spectacle. But, Elena protested, surely there are other factors. Economics, cultural exchange, scientific cooperation. Oh, certainly, Grithok boomed. But the League is at the heart of it all. And now, Earth has the chance to join, to prove its worth on the galactic stage. Elena felt a sense of dread settling in her stomach. And if we refuse? The silence that followed was deafening. Exarlith and Grithok exchanged glances that spoke volumes. Well, Exarlith said finally, its voice unnaturally quiet, let's just say that species who don't participate in the League tend to find themselves isolated, cut off from trade routes, denied access to advanced technologies, left to fend for themselves in a very large and often hostile galaxy. Elena's mind raced. This wasn't at all what they had expected when they set out on this mission, but the implications were clear. Earth's future in the galactic community hinged on its participation in this mysterious sports league. What? Elena started, then paused to clear her throat. What kind of sports are we talking about? Grithok's tentacles wiggled with renewed enthusiasm. Oh, all kinds. Tests of strength, speed, endurance, strategy. But for humans, well, we have something special in mind. Something that will truly showcase your species' unique talents. Elena had a sinking feeling she knew where this was going. And what might that be? She asked, dreading the answer. Zarlith's multifaceted eyes gleamed with an emotion Elena couldn't quite place. Excitement, anticipation, or something darker. Tell me, Admiral Reyes, the ambassador said, leaning in close, what do you know about gladiatorial combat? As the implications of Exarlith's words sank in, Elena realized that humanity's first step into the galactic community was going to be far more perilous than anyone could have imagined. The stars, it seemed, held not just wonders, but deadly games where the stakes were nothing less than the fate of entire worlds. Earth's invitation and the birth of Deathball. Admiral Elena Reyes sat in her temporary quarters aboard Outpost Zenith 9, her head in her hands. The past 48 hours had been a whirlwind of revelations, each more unsettling than the last. The image of Earth's UN Security Council on the view screen before her did little to ease her troubled mind. Let me get this straight, Admiral, the U.S. representative said, his voice tight with disbelief. These aliens want us to participate in some sort of intergalactic blood sport. Elena sighed, straightening in her chair. That's an oversimplification, sir, but not entirely inaccurate. The Galactic Sports League is apparently the cornerstone of their diplomatic relations, and yes, they seem particularly interested in humanity's capacity for physical competition. This is preposterous, the Chinese delegate interjected. We cannot condone such barbarism. Surely there must be another way to establish peaceful relations. Elena's gaze hardened. With all due respect, Madam Ambassador, I don't think we have much choice. The Confederation has made it clear that non-participation would result in complete isolation. We'd be cut off from trade, technological exchange, and any form of protection in a galaxy that's far more crowded and dangerous than we ever imagined. A heavy silence fell over the channel. It was the British representative who finally broke it. What exactly are they proposing, Admiral? What kind of sport do they have in mind for us? Elena took a deep breath. They call it deefball. It's as ominous as it sounds. From what I've gathered, it's a combination of various Earth sports, elements of rugby, American football, mixed martial arts, and gladiatorial combat. The UN Secretary-General leaned forward, his face grave. Casualties. Likely, Elena admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. Though they've assured us that with their medical technology, permanent death is rare. Cold comfort, I know. Another silence, longer this time. The weight of the decision before them was palpable, even across the vast distance of space. The alternatives, the Russian delegate asked gruffly. Elena's shoulders sagged. Isolation. No trade, no cultural exchange, no access to advanced technologies. And she hesitated, then forged ahead. Potential vulnerability to less friendly species. The galaxy, it turns out, is not always a kind place. The Secretary-General nodded slowly. Thank you, Admiral. We'll need time to discuss this and consult with our respective governments. Please stand by. As the transmission cut off, Elena slumped back in her chair. The fate of Earth now hung in the balance, all because of a sport they hadn't even seen yet. A chime at her door roused her from her thoughts. Enter, she called out, straightening once more. Commander Jack Chen stepped in, his usually cheerful face drawn with concern. Admiral, the Zarkonian delegation is here. They say they want to give us a demonstration. Elena's eyebrows shot up. A demonstration of deefball. Chen nodded grimly. Yes, Mom. They've set up some kind of holographic arena in the main conference hall. They're insisting that you and the senior staff attend. With a weary nod, Elena rose to her feet. Very well, Commander. Let's go see what we're up against. The main conference hall had been transformed. Gone were the rows of seats and the raised platform for speakers. In their place was a shimmering translucent dome that took up most of the room. Within it, Elena could see a rough oval field marked with glowing lines and dotted with what looked like obstacles, pillars, low walls, even what appeared to be weapon racks. Around the dome stood a mixture of alien species, all watching with eager anticipation. At the forefront stood Exarlith and Commissioner Gruthok, their alien features set in what Elena was learning to recognize as excitement. Ah, Admiral Reyes. Gruthok boomed as they approached. Just in time. The Zarkonian champions have agreed to put on a little show for you, a taste of what deefball is all about. Elena forced a smile. How generous of them. We're eager to learn. Exarlith's iridescent skin rippled. Oh, I think you'll find it quite enlightening. The Zarkonians are our current champions, you know. Undefeated for the past 3 galactic cycles. Before Elena could respond, a roar went up from the assembled aliens. From opposite ends of the holographic arena, 2 teams emerged. The Zarkonians were massive, reptilian creatures with 4 arms and thick, armored hides. They moved with a surprising grace for their size, each carrying what looked like a cross between a warhammer and a lacrosse stick. The opposing team was a mixed group of various alien species, all looking decidedly nervous. Watch closely, Admiral, Exarlith murmured. This is what galactic diplomacy looks like in action. A shrill whistle cut through the air, and chaos erupted within the dome. The Zarkonians moved with terrifying speed and coordination. They scooped up a glowing orb, the ball, Elena presumed, and began a complex series of passes and maneuvers. The opposing team tried to intercept, but they were clearly outmatched. What followed was a brutal dance of violence and strategy. The Zarkonians used their weapons to batter opponents out of the way, occasionally launching the ball through small, shifting portal-like goals that appeared around the arena. When a team scored, Elena noticed their section of the arena would shift, granting them advantages like higher ground or access to better weapons. It was mesmerizing and horrifying in equal measure. The skill and athleticism on display were undeniable, but so was the brutality. Elena winced as she saw opponents crushed under Zirconian blows or thrown against the energy barrier that surrounded the arena. "Remarkable, isn't it?" Griffox said, his tentacles writhing with glee. "The strategy, the physicality, the sheer spectacle of it all. And to think, this is just a friendly demonstration. You should see a real match. The energy in a packed arena, trillions watching across the galaxy. There's nothing like it." Elena felt her mouth go dry. "And you expect humans to compete in this?" Exarlith's multifaceted eyes glimmered. "Oh, we don't just expect it, Admiral. We're counting on it. Your species' unique blend of intelligence, adaptability, and capacity for controlled violence. You could revolutionize the game." As the demonstration reached its violent conclusion, with the Zirconian team standing victorious over their battered opponents, Elena's mind raced. The UN would undoubtedly be horrified by what she'd just witnessed. And yet, a small, primal part of her brain couldn't help but see the possibilities. Humans had spent millennia turning violence into sport, channeling their aggressive instincts into competitions that captivated billions. And now, the fate of their species might hinge on their ability to do it on a galactic scale. "Well, Admiral," Grithok rumbled, interrupting her thoughts. "What do you think? Can humanity rise to the challenge? Are you ready to make your mark on the galactic stage?" Elena took a deep breath, her eyes still fixed on the holographic arena where medics were now tending to the fallen players. The weight of Earth's future pressed down on her shoulders as she formulated her response. "Commissioner," she said slowly, choosing her words with care, "I think you're going to be very surprised by what humanity is capable of." As the words left her mouth, Elena knew that for better or worse, Earth's path among the stars had been set. The age of galactic bloodsports had begun, and humanity was about to take center stage. Training the first human team, the decision had been made. After weeks of heated debate, emergency sessions, and global referendums, humanity had chosen to accept the Galactic Confederation's invitation. Earth would field a team for the Galactic Sports League's Death Ball tournament. Now, 6 months later, Admiral Elena Reyes stood at the edge of a massive training facility on the outskirts of Dubai. The complex sprawled across the desert landscape, a gleaming monument to humanity's determination and adaptability. Here, the best athletes from across the globe had gathered to prepare for a challenge unlike any in human history. "Impressive, isn't it?" a gruff voice said from beside her. Elena turned to see General Marcus Graves, the man tasked with overseeing the training program. His weathered face bore the scars of countless battles, but his eyes shone with a fierce pride. Elena nodded. "It's remarkable what we've accomplished in such a short time. But will it be enough?" Graves grunted. "It'll have to be. Come on, let me show you what we're working with." As they entered the facility, Elena was struck by the sheer scale of the operation. Holographic projectors, reverse-engineered from Confederation technology, created simulated deathball arenas. Advanced medical pods, gifts from the Galactic Sports League, stood ready to heal injuries that would have been fatal just months ago. But it was the athletes themselves who truly captured Elena's attention. Men and women from every corner of the Earth moved through the facility with purpose and intensity. Their bodies had been pushed to the very limits of human potential, enhanced by carefully regulated treatments provided by Confederation scientists. "We've had to completely rethink our approach to training," Graves explained as they watched a group of athletes engage in a mock deathball match. "It's not just about physical prowess anymore. These men and women need to be tacticians, weapons experts, and diplomats all rolled into one." Elena winced as she saw one player take a brutal hit, only to roll with the impact and come up fighting. The brutality of it all. How are they coping? Graves's expression softened slightly. "It hasn't been easy. We've had dropouts, breakdowns, but the ones who've stuck with it, there's something special. They understand what's at stake. They moved on to a classroom setting where athletes were engaged in intense study. Holographic displays showed alien physiologies, weapon schematics, and complex strategic simulations. We're not just training their bodies, a voice said from behind them. Elena turned to see Dr. Samantha Chen, the project's lead xenobiologist. We're rewiring their brains to think on a galactic scale. Dr. Chen, Elena greeted her with a nod. How are they progressing? Samantha's eyes lit up with excitement. It's remarkable, Admiral. The human brain's plasticity, combined with the Confederation's learning enhancement techniques, they're absorbing information at an unprecedented rate. Languages, alien cultures, advanced physics, they're processing it all. As they continued their tour, Elena was introduced to key members of Earth's first deafball team. There was Maria Gonzalez, a former Olympic gymnast whose agility and spatial awareness made her a natural for the game's complex, three-dimensional maneuvering. John "Tank" Thompson, an ex-NFL linebacker whose strength and resilience had been enhanced to superhuman levels. Yuki Tanaka, a prodigy in both martial arts and quantum mechanics, whose understanding of the game's physics-defying aspects gave her a unique edge. We're not just training their bodies, a voice said from behind them. Elena turned to see Dr. Samantha Chen, the project's lead xenobiologist. We're rewiring their brains to think on a galactic scale. Dr. Chen, Elena greeted her with a nod. How are they progressing? Samantha's eyes lit up with excitement. It's remarkable, Admiral. The human brain's plasticity, combined with the Confederation's learning enhancement techniques, they're absorbing information at an unprecedented rate. Languages, alien cultures, advanced physics, they're processing it all. As they continued their tour, Elena was introduced to key members of Earth's first deafball team. There was Maria Gonzalez, a former Olympic gymnast whose agility and spatial awareness made her a natural for the game's complex, three-dimensional maneuvering. John "Tank" Thompson, an ex-NFL linebacker whose strength and resilience had been enhanced to superhuman levels. Yuki Tanaka, a prodigy in both martial arts and quantum mechanics, whose understanding of the game's physics-defying aspects gave her a unique edge. We're not just training their bodies, a voice said from behind them. Elena turned to see Dr. Samantha Chen, the project's lead xenobiologist. We're rewiring their brains to think on a galactic scale. Dr. Chen, Elena greeted her with a nod. How are they progressing? Samantha's eyes lit up with excitement. It's remarkable, Admiral. The human brain's plasticity, combined with the Confederation's learning enhancement techniques, they're absorbing information at an unprecedented rate. Languages, alien cultures, advanced physics, they're processing it all. As they continued their tour, Elena was introduced to key members of Earth's first deafball team. There was Maria Gonzalez, a former Olympic gymnast whose agility and spatial awareness made her a natural for the game's complex, three-dimensional maneuvering. John "Tank" Thompson, an ex-NFL linebacker whose strength and resilience had been enhanced to superhuman levels. Yuki Tanaka, a prodigy in both martial arts and quantum mechanics, whose understanding of the game's physics-defying aspects gave her a unique edge. The inaugural match, humans versus Zarkonian champions. The Zarkonian arena was a marvel of alien engineering, a massive structure that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Its translucent dome shimmered with energy, occasionally rippling to reveal glimpses of the harsh, red-tinged sky of the alien world beyond. Within, tiered seating for millions surrounded a central playing field that constantly shifted and morphed, presenting new challenges with each passing moment. Admiral Elena Reyes sat in the diplomatic box, her heart pounding in her chest. Around her, representatives from hundreds of alien species chattered excitedly in a cacophony of languages, all eagerly anticipating the match about to unfold. Nervous, Admiral? Xarlith's melodious voice cut through the noise. The alien diplomat settled into the seat beside her, its iridescent skin shimmering with what Elena had come to recognize as excitement. Terrified, Elena admitted, seeing no point in hiding it. But also hopeful. Xarlith's multifaceted eyes blinked in rapid succession. As well you should be. This match, it's unprecedented. Never before has a species debuted against the reigning champions. The galaxy is watching, Admiral. Your people have captured the imagination of trillions. Before Elena could respond, a hush fell over the arena. Commissioner Grithok's booming voice echoed through the vast space, amplified by technology beyond human understanding. Sentients of the Galactic Confederation, welcome to the event of the cycle. Today, we witness history as the newest members of our cosmic community face off against our undefeated champions. The crowd roared. A sound like 1,000 thunderstorms rolled into one. Elena gripped the arms of her seat, her knuckles white. Defending their title, the terror of the Outer Rim, the undefeated masters of Deathball. I give you, the Zarkonian Worldbreakers. From one end of the arena, a massive portal opened. The Zarkonian team emerged, their four-armed, reptilian bodies gleaming with bioluminescent patterns. They moved with a fluid grace that belied their enormous size, each carrying their signature hammer staffs. The crowd's cheers reached a fevered pitch, but Elena noticed undercurrents of other emotions: fear, awe, and a palpable bloodlust that made her skin crawl. As the Zarkonians took their positions, Grithok's voice boomed out once more. And now, making their galactic debut, the warriors of a young world at the edge of known space. Sentience, I give you, the Terran Titans. We're not just training their bodies, a voice said from behind them. Elena turned to see Dr. Samantha Chen, the project's lead xenobiologist. We're rewiring their brains to think on a galactic scale. Dr. Chen, Elena greeted her with a nod. How are they progressing? Samantha's eyes lit up with excitement. It's remarkable, Admiral. The human brain's plasticity, combined with the Confederation's learning enhancement techniques, they're absorbing information at an unprecedented rate. Languages, alien cultures, advanced physics, they're processing it all. As they continued their tour, Elena was introduced to key members of Earth's first Deathball team. There was Maria Gonzalez, a former Olympic gymnast whose agility and spatial awareness made her a natural for the game's complex, three-dimensional maneuvering. John Tank Thompson, an ex-NFL linebacker whose strength and resilience had been enhanced to superhuman levels. Yuki Tanaka, a prodigy in both martial arts and quantum mechanics, whose understanding of the game's physics-defying aspects gave her a unique edge. We're not just training their bodies, a voice said from behind them. Elena turned to see Dr. Samantha Chen, the project's lead xenobiologist. We're rewiring their brains to think on a galactic scale. Dr. Chen, Elena greeted her with a nod. How are they progressing? Samantha's eyes lit up with excitement. It's remarkable, Admiral. The human brain's plasticity, combined with the Confederation's learning enhancement techniques, they're absorbing information at an unprecedented rate. Languages, alien cultures, advanced physics, they're processing it all. As they continued their tour, Elena was introduced to key members of Earth's first Deathball team. There was Maria Gonzalez, a former Olympic gymnast whose agility and spatial awareness made her a natural for the game's complex, three-dimensional maneuvering. John Tank Thompson, an ex-NFL linebacker whose strength and resilience had been enhanced to superhuman levels. Yuki Tanaka, a prodigy in both martial arts and quantum mechanics, whose understanding of the game's physics-defying aspects gave her a unique edge. The inaugural match, humans versus Zarkonian champions. The Zarkonian arena was a marvel of alien engineering, a massive structure that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Its translucent dome shimmered with energy, occasionally rippling to reveal glimpses of the harsh, red-tinged sky of the alien world beyond. Within, tiered seating for millions surrounded a central playing field that constantly shifted and morphed, presenting new challenges with each passing moment. Admiral Elena Reyes sat in the diplomatic box, her heart pounding in her chest. Around her, representatives from hundreds of alien species chattered excitedly in a cacophony of languages, all eagerly anticipating the match about to unfold. Nervous, Admiral. Exarlith's melodious voice cut through the noise. The alien diplomat settled into the seat beside her, its iridescent skin shimmering with what Elena had come to recognize as excitement. Terrified, Elena admitted, seeing no point in hiding it, but also hopeful. Exarlith's multifaceted eyes blinked in rapid succession. As well you should be. This match, it's unprecedented. Never before has a species debuted against the reigning champions. The galaxy is watching, Admiral. Your people have captured the imagination of trillions. Before Elena could respond, a hush fell over the arena. Commissioner Grithok's booming voice echoed through the vast space, amplified by technology beyond human understanding. Sentients of the Galactic Confederation, welcome to the event of the cycle. Today, we witness history as the newest members of our cosmic community face off against our undefeated champions. The crowd roared, a sound like 1,000 thunderstorms rolled into one. Elena gripped the arms of her seat, her knuckles white. Defending their title, the terror of the Outer Rim, the undefeated masters of Deathball. I give you, the Zarkonian Worldbreakers. From one end of the arena, a massive portal opened. The Zarkonian team emerged, their four-armed, reptilian bodies gleaming with bioluminescent patterns. They moved with a fluid grace that belied their enormous size, each carrying their signature hammer staffs. The crowd's cheers reached a fevered pitch, but Elena noticed undercurrents of other emotions, fear, awe, and a palpable bloodlust that made her skin crawl. As the Zarkonians took their positions, Grithok's voice boomed out once more. And now, making their galactic debut, the warriors of a young world at the edge of known space. Sentience, I give you. The Terran Titans. Elena held her breath as another portal shimmered into existence. From it emerged Earth's team, their armor gleaming under the arena's harsh lights. They moved with purpose and precision, their months of grueling training evident in every step. A murmur of surprise rippled through the crowd. Many had expected the humans to be dwarfed by the Zarkonians, but thanks to their advanced armor and carefully regulated enhancements, Earth's team stood tall and proud. At the forefront, Captain Zara Okoro's eyes scanned the arena, taking in every detail. Beside her, Maria Gonzalez stretched, her life form belying the superhuman strength now coursing through her veins. John Tank Thompson cracked his neck, his massive frame drawing appreciative murmurs from the crowd. Yuki Tanaka's fingers danced over the controls of her wrist-mounted computer, already calculating trajectories and analyzing the arena's ever-shifting layout. As the two teams faced each other at the center of the arena, Elena felt a tap on her shoulder. She turned to see Commander Chen, his face pale but determined. Admiral, he whispered, we're receiving telemetry from the team's neural links. Everything's online and functioning perfectly. Elena nodded, a small comfort in the face of the monumental challenge before them. Let's hope it's enough, she murmured. The referee, a being composed entirely of swirling energy, materialized between the two teams. In its core, a pulsing orb of light appeared, the Deathball itself, a sphere of pure energy that could be as deadly as it was unpredictable. A hush fell over the arena as the referee raised its appendages. Then, with a sound like 1,000 thunderclaps, the game began. The Zarkonians moved with frightening speed, their forearms giving them an immediate advantage as they snatched the Deathball from the air. But Earth's team didn't panic. They had trained for this, had studied countless hours of Zarkonian gameplay. Zara's voice crackled over the team's comm system. Formation Delta. Yuki, calculate the trajectory. Maria, you're our interceptor. Tank, with me. We're going to give them a little surprise. The humans moved as one, their actions a perfectly choreographed dance of strategy and controlled violence. Maria launched herself into the air, her enhanced muscles, and the arena's fluctuating gravity allowing her to soar to impossible heights. She twisted in midair, narrowly avoiding the Zarkonian's swinging hammerstaff, and managed to knock the deathball from its grasp. The crowd gasped as the energy sphere tumbled through the air, only to be caught by Yuki. The young prodigy's eyes narrowed in concentration as she performed rapid calculations in her head. With a flick of her wrist, she sent the deathball careening in a seemingly random direction, only for it to curve around a floating obstacle and streak towards one of the shifting goal portals. A Zarkonian defender moved to intercept, but this was what Zara had been waiting for. She and Tank charged forward, their armor's energy shields flaring as they slammed into the alien with bone-crushing force. The impact sent the Zarkonian flying, clearing the path for the deathball to sail through the portal. The arena fell silent for a heartbeat, then erupted in chaos. Humans had scored the first point in their debut match, against the reigning champions no less. In the diplomatic box, Alina let out a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. Beside her, Xarlith's iridescent skin rippled with what might have been shock. "Impossible," the alien diplomat whispered. "They shouldn't be able to. How did they?" Alina allowed herself a small, fierce smile. "Never underestimate humanity, Ambassador. We've only just begun." As the match progressed, it became clear that this was no fluke. The humans matched the Zarkonians point for point, their smaller size and lesser strength more than compensated for by their ingenuity and adaptability. Where the Zarkonians relied on brute force and well-practiced plays, the humans constantly innovated. They used the arena's shifting terrain to their advantage, with Maria's acrobatics and Yuki's calculations allowing them to make shots that seemed to defy physics itself. Tank proved his worth time and again, standing firm against Zarkonian charges that would have flattened lesser beings. And through it all, Zara's leadership shone, her tactical mind always 3 steps ahead of their opponents. But the Zarkonians were champions for a reason. As the match entered its final phase, the aliens began to adapt, their initial shock wearing off. They pressed their advantage of strength and reach, forcing the humans into increasingly desperate maneuvers. With just minutes left on the clock, the score was tied. The arena had shifted into its most challenging configuration yet, a series of floating islands surrounded by energy fields that flared with deadly force at random intervals. Zara's voice, strained but unbroken, came over the team's comms. "One last play. Everything we've got. Yuki, I need the craziest trajectory you can calculate. Maria, Tank, you know what to do. This is for Earth." As the final seconds ticked away, humanity held its breath. In the diplomatic box, Alina leaned forward, her eyes fixed on the swirling chaos below. This was it, the moment that would define Earth's place in the galactic community. The deathball arsed through the air, its path a mind-bending series of curves and rebounds that left even the most experienced alien spectators baffled. The Zarkonians scrambled to intercept, but they had fallen into Zora's trap. With a synchronized movement that spoke of countless hours of practice, the human team executed a maneuver that would go down in deathball history. Maria launched herself from Tank's shoulders, soaring above the Zarkonian defenders. At the apex of her jump, she caught the deathball, tucked into a spin that would have made Olympic gymnasts weep with envy, and hurled the energy sphere with all her enhanced might. Time seemed to slow as the deathball streaked towards the goal portal. The Zarkonian goalkeeper, a mountain of alien muscle, lunged to intercept. For a heart-stopping moment, it looked like the shot would fall short. Then, with a sound like reality itself tearing at the seams, the goal portal flickered and shifted. Yuki's calculations had been perfect. She had predicted the arena's final transformation with uncanny accuracy. The deathball slipped through the portal mere microseconds before it closed. The arena erupted in a roar that shook the very foundations of the alien world. Humanity had done the impossible. In their debut match, they had defeated the undefeated champions. As Earth's team gathered in an exhausted, jubilant huddle at the center of the arena, Alina felt tears streaming down her face. Beside her, Xarlith and the other alien diplomats sat in stunned silence. "Well, Admiral," Xarlith said finally, its voice a mix of awe and trepidation, "it seems we may have underestimated your species." Alina turned to the alien diplomat, her eyes shining with fierce pride. "That, Ambassador," she said, "is something the galaxy would do well to remember." As celebrations erupted across Earth, and incomprehensible alien commentary filled the airwaves, one thing became crystal clear. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same again. Aftermath and Earth's new galactic status. The days following humanity's shocking victory in the Deathball Arena were a whirlwind of activity that spanned the galaxy. On Earth, celebrations erupted on a scale never before seen in human history. People of all nations, creeds, and cultures poured into the streets, united in their jubilation. The victory transcended sport. It was validation of humanity's place among the stars. Admiral Alina Reyes stood before the United Nations General Assembly, her uniform crisp and adorned with a new medal, the Galactic Merit of Honor, bestowed upon her by the Confederation itself. The chamber was packed, with delegates from every nation hanging on her every word. "Distinguished representatives," Alina began, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment, "we stand at the dawn of a new era for our species. Our victory in the Deathball Arena was more than just a sporting achievement. It was a declaration to the galaxy that humanity is ready to take its place as a full and equal member of the cosmic community." Applause thundered through the chamber. Alina waited for it to subside before continuing. "But with this victory comes great responsibility. The galaxy's eyes are upon us now, and the challenges ahead are immense. We must navigate this new reality with wisdom, courage, and above all, unity." As Alina outlined the opportunities and potential pitfalls that lay ahead, screens around the chamber displayed scenes from across the galaxy. On countless alien worlds, humans had become overnight celebrities. Deathball viewership had shattered all previous records, and demand for human culture, art, and technology was skyrocketing. Meanwhile, in the depths of space, the IS horizon had been transformed into a hub of diplomatic activity. Commander Jack Chen found himself hosting a constant stream of alien dignitaries, all eager to establish ties with Earth. The Vrexian collective wishes to discuss a cultural exchange program. His AI assistant chimed, its holographic form flickering beside him. And the Zarkonian High Council has sent another request to arrange a friendly rematch. Chen sighed, rubbing his temples. "Tell the Vrexians we're interested but need to consult with Earth's cultural ministers, and let the Zarkonians know we're flattered, but our team needs rest. Suggest we revisit the idea in a few months." As he turned back to the viewport, gazing out at the star-studded expanse, Chen couldn't help but marvel at how quickly things had changed. Just a year ago, humanity had been alone in the universe, unaware of the vast civilizations that lurked among the stars. Now, they were at the center of a galactic spotlight. Back on Earth, in the sprawling Deathball training facility outside Dubai, Captain Zara Okoro stood before her team. The victory celebration had been sweet, but brief. They all knew that this was just the beginning. "We made history," Zara said, her voice filled with pride but tinged with caution. "But we've also painted a target on our backs. Every species in the galaxy will be studying our tactics, looking for weaknesses. We can't rest on our laurels." Maria Gonzalez, still sporting a few fading bruises from the match, nodded in agreement. "So what's next, Captain?" Zara's eyes gleamed with determination. "We innovate. We push ourselves even harder. The element of surprise won't work in our favor next time. We need to be faster, smarter, and more adaptable than ever before." As the team dove into their training with renewed vigor, Dr. Samantha Chen watched from the sidelines, her mind racing with new possibilities. The data from the match had provided invaluable insights into human performance under extreme conditions. With the advanced medical technology provided by the Confederation, the potential for human enhancement was staggering. "We're on the cusp of a new evolutionary leap," she murmured to herself, fingers flying over her tablet as she jotted down ideas for new training regimens and biological upgrades. But not all the consequences of humanity's victory were positive. In the shadowy corridors of power, both on Earth and across the galaxy, new plots were being hatched. In a secure bunker deep beneath an unnamed desert, General Marcus Graves sat in a dimly lit room, surrounded by holographic displays showing classified reports from across the globe. "The Deathball victory has opened doors we never knew existed," he said to the assembled group of military and intelligence leaders. "But it's also exposed us to threats we're only beginning to understand. We need to be prepared." One of the intelligence officers leaned forward, her face grim. "We're detecting increased chatter among some of the more aggressive species in the Confederation. They see us as a potential threat now. There's talk of covert operations, attempts to steal our deathball tactics and technology." Graves nodded, unsurprised. "And what of our own operations?" Another officer cleared his throat. "Project Prometheus is proceeding as planned, sir. The deathball arena has proven to be an excellent testing ground for some of our more experimental technologies." As the meeting continued, plans were laid for a new era of galactic espionage and covert warfare. Humanity's ascension to the cosmic stage would not go unchallenged. Unaware of these shadowy machinations, Admiral Rice concluded her address to the UN. "We have proven ourselves on the galactic stage," she said, her voice ringing with conviction. "But this is only the beginning. The path ahead is fraught with danger, but also filled with unimaginable opportunities. We must move forward with caution, wisdom, and above all, the indomitable spirit that has defined our species since we first looked up at the stars and dared to dream." As applause filled the chamber once more, Elena's thoughts drifted to the future. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, but the journey ahead was long and uncertain. They had made their mark with Deathball, but the true game, the intricate dance of galactic politics, commerce, and culture, was only just beginning. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, ancient species watched the rise of this young, brash civilization with a mixture of fascination, admiration, and fear. Humanity had proven itself adaptable, innovative, and capable of channeling its capacity for violence into spectacular achievements. But would they use these gifts to become builders and peacekeepers, or conquerors? As news of Earth's victory spread to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, one thing became abundantly clear. The cosmic status quo had been irrevocably shattered. For better or worse, humanity had announced its presence on the galactic stage with a resounding roar. The age of human isolation was over. The era of galactic citizenship had begun, and the universe would never be the same again. In the depths of space, on countless worlds and space stations, in the hearts and minds of 1,000 alien species, a question echoed: what will humanity do next? The answer, as always, remained to be written in the stars.